like and share. Episode 37, Virgin Saint Mary, the Theotokos. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the heart of Egypt, there lived a group of children who were eager to learn about the world around them. Among these children were two best friends, Sarah and David. They loved listening to stories and discovering new things. One sunny afternoon, as Sarah and David sat under the shade of a towering tree, they overheard their grandparents talking about a special celebration that was happening in their village. It was the commemoration of Saint Mary, also known as the Theotokos, the Mother of God. Intrigued by this new information, Sarah and David asked their grandparents to tell them more about Saint Mary and why she was so important to the Coptic Church. Their grandparents smiled warmly and began to share a beautiful story. Saint Mary was a remarkable woman, their grandmother began. She was chosen by God to be the mother of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Her life was filled with faith, humility, and obedience to God's will. Their grandfather chimed in, the Coptic Church holds Saint Mary in the highest regard, honoring her as the greatest among the saints. They celebrate her with immense joy and devotion. Curiosity filled Sarah and David's hearts as they listened attentively. They were fascinated by the remarkable role Saint Mary played in the Christian faith. The commemoration of Saint Mary happens throughout the year, their grandmother continued. During special feast days, Coptic Christians come together in churches and monasteries to honor her. The most important of these feasts is the Feast of the Assumption, which celebrates Saint Mary's journey from earthly life to heavenly glory. Their grandfather added, these liturgical services are filled with beautiful hymns, prayers, and readings from the Holy Scriptures. They remind us of Saint Mary's virtues and the profound love she had for God. Sarah and David imagined themselves surrounded by the enchanting melodies of the hymns, feeling the warmth of love and devotion that filled the hearts of the faithful. The Coptic Church also has many hymns and prayers dedicated to Saint Mary, their grandmother said. These are called Theotokia. They express the deep veneration and love for the Virgin Mary, who is seen as an intercessor and advocate for believers. Coptic Christians seek her prayers and protection, knowing she holds a special place before God. Sarah and David were amazed by the deep connection between the Coptic Christians and Saint Mary. They understood that her life was not only an example of faith but also an inspiration for all believers. Their grandfather then shared, during the commemoration of Saint Mary, Coptic Christians also engage in acts of charity and compassion. Just as Saint Mary showed kindness, love, and mercy to others, they try to follow in her footsteps and help those in need. Sarah and David's eyes lit up with joy. They realized that the commemoration of Saint Mary wasn't just a time for celebration but also an opportunity to spread love and make a positive impact in the world. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow over the village, Sarah and David thanked their grandparents for sharing such a wonderful story. They now had a deeper understanding of the Coptic Church's commemoration of Saint Mary. With newfound knowledge and inspiration, Sarah and David decided to create their own act of kindness. They gathered their friends and started a small garden where they grew vegetables to share with their neighbors. And so, the spirit of Saint Mary lived on through the hearts and actions of the children. They learned that love, compassion, and devotion could create a beautiful world, just as Saint Mary's life had brought hope and salvation to humanity. From that day forward, Sarah, David, and their friends continued to celebrate the commemoration of Saint Mary every year. They shared stories of her faith, sang hymns of praise, and spread kindness wherever they went. In doing so, they kept the spirit of Saint Mary alive and inspired others to do the same. And so, in the small village, the legacy of Saint Mary's love and devotion lived on, creating a ripple of compassion that touched the hearts of all who heard her story. See you again soon. Subscribe, like and share.